Hi there everybody, this is David, and Amazon is doing their Prime Deal Days right now, where they have tons of video games on a really deep discount. Some of them, it's like yearly lows, and I found 20 games that have fantastic deals right here, and I just kind of want to like go through them pretty quickly, because if you're anything like me, you kind of like wait for the sales, and then you load up so that you have your collection, and then, you know, you have your games in your backlog, so whenever the sales are gone, you have the games that you can play. That's at least what I do. It just seems, smart to me. But anyway, let's go ahead and get started. So all the Dragon Quest games are on sale. This is Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D on sale for $25 right now. This is one of my favorite Dragon Quest games of all time. I absolutely adore it. It kicked off the whole Dragon Quest remake thing. You can choose your entire party from different job classes as you go through, the light world and the dark world and all that kind of stuff. And it's like a real world thing going on as you go through like their version of Egypt and Portugal and Japan and India and all these different places. It's a whole lot of fun. Also, Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D Remake is on sale for $40. This is a Prime Day deal, so a little bit more expensive here, but it is there, and this is the first two games in the Urgent Trilogy combined into one. I've got to say, they took Dragon Quest 2, which was one of like the black sheeps of the series, and they turned it into something really, really special. It is fantastic. It is up there as now one of my favorite games of all time. It may be like my favorite Dragon Quest game of all time now. Like, that's how good that remake of Dragon Quest 2 is. It is fan-freaking-tastic. We have a yearly low, 365-day low price for Dragon Quest 7 Reimagined. This one is $45. This is Dragon Quest for, fans of the series. This is a love letter to fans of the series. If you love Dragon Quest and you can't get enough of it, and you're looking to put a ton of time into a Dragon Quest game, then this is the one for you. It has these job classes where you can master two jobs, and then they turn the basic jobs and they turn into intermediate jobs, and you can master two intermediate jobs to get a master job and everything. And you go to all these different islands and you end up restoring the world because the islands were sealed away by the Dark Lord. So you go into the past, you figure out what happened, and then you revive the islands to the present day. It is a blast. I spent at least 200 hours in the original back on the PlayStation 1 where it first came out. This is a long one. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is on sale for only $20. This is part 2 of the remake series, so only $20. So if you haven't played this game yet and you are waiting for part 3 that is coming out, Revelation's coming out next spring, you kind of got to play this one before you get to Revelation, you know what I mean? I wasn't the biggest fan of Remake, the first part, because it took place mostly in Midgar, and Midgar to me is not the most fun portion of the game. It was 5 hours or so. In the original version, they stretched it out to about 40 hours, but then this takes place pretty much the second that you leave Midgar, all the way up to a very pivotal moment, we'll just put it that way, and you know exactly what I'm talking about there, and it's a whole lot of fun, open world, tons of different things to see and do and explore, and say what you will about it, but it is a good game. You might not think it's the most, faithful remake, but I do think that it is a very good game. Also, the Final Fantasy Anniversary Collection is on sale. This one's $50. This is the collection of Final Fantasy 1 through 6, the Pixel Remastered version. So they are fantastic. If you never played the original classic Final Fantasies, this is the time to do it. This is the way to do it. These are very, very, very faithful to their original releases, except that bugs have been fixed and there are speed up options and there's other quality of life options, like being able to multiply experience or multiply gold, or things like that, APB, Magicite points and things like that. So it is a whole lot of fun, and it's definitely worth it. $50, 6 games. That is a deal that you cannot beat, considering that I paid over $50 just for one of these games back in the day. The SNES games, I think, used to cost like $60, and I want to say Final Fantasy 3 or 6 was like $65, and Final Fantasy 1, I'm pretty sure, was $50 back in the day just by itself over on the NES, so yeah. Another yearly low price, 360-day low price, Final Fantasy Tactics, The Evilise Chronicles, is here for $35 right now. This is the lowest it has ever been. And they just implemented that new game plus, so there's a lot more content, a lot more things to do in this game. This is my favorite tactical RPG of all time. Completely worth it. If you've never played this game, you are missing out. It is absolutely fantastic. It takes the Tactics Ogre formula and it just modifies it a bit for Final Fantasy, and it just makes it very user-friendly, and it is great. It tells a fantastic political adult storyline that I love. Octopath Traveler 0 at a 30-day low price for $35. The Octopath games, 1 and 2. They're very long. They're at least 60 to 80 or so hours. They're a whole lot of fun. Octopath Traveler 0, raise that up, double it. Like, this one is long. This is a long one. But kind of instead of following your 8 different character storylines, you instead follow like villains storylines. And it takes the storyline of Octopath Champions of the Continent and it turns it into a console game. And we've seen that before, but this one really did it super well. This is actually my favorite game in the entire Octopath series. It is just that good. It is absolutely freaking fantastic. I cannot say enough about this. Huge world, turn-based battles, tons of jobs, fantastic storyline, great places to go out and explore and see and do things off the beaten path. A whole lot of fun right here. Bravely Default 2 is also on sale for $42.75. Not an Amazon Prime deal, but I figured I'd bring it up because, you know, it's a really good game. If you like games like Final Fantasy V, Final Fantasy III, Job Class Systems, Dragon Quest III, Dragon Quest VII, Dragon Quest VI, then you will like Bravely Default. This started off with 4 Heroes of Light, actually, back on the Nintendo DS, and then they started off with Bravely Default, and then they did, like, you know, the sequel things, and they did Bravely Second, and this is the true sequel to Bravely Default. Follows different characters, the first console release of the Bravely Default series as well. So yeah, if you're into Job Classes, turn-based battles, that kind of like whole, I don't know, like 4 different elementally themed continents sort of thing, this is right up your alley. This is fantastic. Great game. Suikoden 1 and 2 HD 2D HD remaster, not HD 2D, man. This one is $20. Speaking of things that I spent way too much money on, I spent like $90 on Suikoden 2 whenever it first came out. Like, it was really rare, it was really hard to find, but I found it, and I picked it up. And now you can get both it and the first one. I got the first one for $5. It was in a bargain bin at Electronics Boutique, and they had this bargain bin literally outside the store on like the sidewalk. And I grabbed it. It was $5. I think I got that one. I got Beyond the Beyond, and I got Wild Arms 1. Each of them for $5 out of this bargain bin the same day. Whenever I got the PS1 with Final Fantasy VII for Christmas, and then a couple weeks later I went to the mall. And I was like, I need to buy some more, you know, PlayStation games, some more RPGs. And I found these 3 RPGs in that bargain bin, and I grabbed them. And then I tried to get Suikoden 2 because I liked the first one so much, and it was so hard to find. But yeah, now you can play both of those games for only $20. Great deal right there. I made a community post about this one. Digimon Story Time Stranger is 40% off at $30. Put out a review for this game. It was kind of weird. It was a weird time. It was a strange time. There was Pokemon ZA coming out, and then there was Digimon Story Time Stranger. And I did not like Pokemon ZA. And I said for Digimon Story, it was okay. It was average. It was just another monster collector. But I said, is it worth $70? Because that's what it was originally costing. It was $70. And I said, no, it's not worth $70. You should wait till it's on sale. Then they permanently lowered the price to $50. And I was like, oh, okay, hey, permanently lowered the price. Hey, now might be a time to pick it up. But now it is definitely 100% worth it at $30. I think that this is a $30 game. It's not a $70 game. it is a $30 game. Tales of Berseria Remastered, one of my favorite Tales games ever. This is $30 at a 90-day low price. Tales games. Most Tales games, they follow kind of like a happy-go-lucky sort of thing with, like, party members who are funny, and it's just like bright-hearted and all this kind of stuff, and you climb over that wall and you beat things with the power of friendship and all that. And Tales of Berseria, that isn't it. Tales of Berseria is more of like following the villain. You follow Velvet Crow, and she is a murderous biatch, and she is just ready to get some revenge. And it's really refreshing, actually, to see kind of the story kind of turned on its head and told from a different viewpoint right there, from her viewpoint, as she is pretty much killing the good guys in this game. This is actually a prequel to Tales of Zestiria, and yeah, this is one of my favorite Tales games out there. Another great Tales game that is on sale is Tales of Xillia, only $20 for this one. This one is interesting insofar as there are two different protagonists that you can follow. You can follow Jude, a young doctor, that's the boy, or you could follow Milla Maxwell, who's like an elemental spirit. Maxwell, if you've played the Tales games, you know what I'm talking about, and that's the girl. And it tells like two different stories. For the most part, the stories are pretty much the same. It does deviate at one point, and I will say this, if you only want to play it through once and you want to get the most story, play Jude's story. It's just a little bit more complete than that. But either way, fantastic game. Cannot go wrong with either of those games. Another Namco Bandai game, Code Vein 2, came out. This is $40, 43% off right here. If you're into Souls-likes and that sort of stuff, you might want to pick up Code Vein 2. Am I into Souls-likes? No. So am I picking up Code Vein 2? No. But you might want to pick it up, so I figured I would just bring it up, you know what I mean? The things that I do for y'all. Yeah, it's all about y'all, it really is. Anyway, if you're into Souls-likes and stuff like that, be sure to grab this one. Rune Factory Guardians of Azuma. This is only $20. Only $20, 33% off. This is actually my favorite Rune Factory game. It looks like it's not on sale on the Switch too. It is a 90-day low price over on the PS5, but it is very cheap over here on the Nintendo Switch. This one's a lot of fun. This is the newest Rune Factory game. It's a very fun game. It does have farming, just like Harvest Moon, Story of Seasons, Rune Factory, that sort of thing. But you don't really have to worry about it that much. You can kind of like recruit townsfolk to like do it for you. So you can just go off to these sky islands. You like fly the dragon between the seasonally themed sky islands, and then you kick ass and you take names, and it's a blast. Also, dual protagonist system as well. Choose a boy or a girl. Get a different little storyline right there. Raider Remastered, Mystery of the Soulless Army, 30-day low price, 40% off at $30. It's called a remaster. It's really much more of a remake of the PlayStation 2 game. I will say this. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it on the PS2. I enjoyed this remaster, even though it's really like a remake. Like they remade it. Like they really remade it. It's fantastic. I enjoyed it a lot. I don't think that it sold all that well. So if you're waiting for Raider Remastered 2 to play this game, don't hold your breath. I don't think it's going to happen. I wish that instead of them remastering Raido, they did Digital Devil Saga instead, because I think it's just a much better game. That being said, $30 for this game, totally worth it. Show your support. The more support that it gets, the more likely it is that Sega will remaster Raido 2 and move on to Digital Devil Saga and things like that. Speaking of SMT, we have Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance. This is the upgraded version of Shin Megami Tensei 5. This is, it looks like it is $24.90 for the Switch, only $23 for the PS5. So this one has gone down in price quite substantially. This is the the royal edition, the golden edition of Shin Megami Tensei 5, and then after this, Atlas pretty much said, "Hey, we're not doing this any longer." Then Metaphor came out, and people were still sitting there thinking, "I'm not going to buy Metaphor. I'm going to wait until Metaphor gets its golden edition." And it hasn't, because they said that they're not going to be doing it anymore. This here was probably like the last golden edition that they have done here. So yeah, now you can get it pretty cheap. Totally worth it if you are into harder, more challenging turn-based games with open exploration, things like that. Monster capturing, evolution, that sort of stuff. You'll love it. Atlas, 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim, 43% off at $34 right here for the Switch. Let's see if it's on sale for the PS4. I'm not entirely sure. Oh, about the same. Oh, 90-day low price. So yeah, it's on sale for both of them right here. If you like visual novels, remember those Choose Your Own Adventure books from the 1980s? I do, because I'm old. It's kind of that sort of thing where you can go on through, you can choose your route, and then sometimes one of the routes will lead to a game over, or it will lead to, a loop or something like that, and then you can just kind of like go back in time, kind of like Radiant Historia, and then look at a different timeline. It's kind of a point-and-click adventure-y sort of thing, trying to find different things to ask questions about. And then it's also interspersed with real-time strategy, mecha robotic battles, and stuff like that. So yeah. Monster Hunter Stories 3 Twisted Reflection is a Prime deal at $55.99, 20% off right here. I didn't see a sale for any other release. This is the sale for the Switch 2 version. It is a Game Geek card. But this is a turn-based Monster Hunter. It uses more of like a rock, paper, scissors sort of turn-based combat thing. Where different things, rock beats the scissors, and the paper beats the rock, and all that other kind of stuff. So yeah, if you like that, and you like exploration, you like beautiful pretty worlds and fun stories, this is one to look into. Then we have Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. This is our last one. This is at a yearly low price, 365-day low price of $60, 25% off. I don't know what else I could say about Zelda that hasn't been said about this one right here. This is the Switch 2 edition. So if you only bought this on the Switch 1 and you want to buy it on the Switch 2 and you want to like check it out and see what's different and all that kind of stuff, now you can. It is on the cheap, and it is Zelda, and you cannot go wrong with Zelda. Unless you're me and you can't really play 3D Zelda. I like more 2D Zeldas. I'm loving the Elliot game. It reminds me so much of A Link to the Past, which I really do enjoy. So anyway, I just wanted to, I just went through Amazon, I saw these games on sale and all that kind of stuff, and I thought, you know what, I started buying some, and I was like, you know what, I should make a video about this, I should let everybody know about this. So that's what I did. But now I want to hear from y'all, what games are you going to be buying? What deals have you found? Let me know down in the comments, and as always, have a good day.